Hi, and welcome to News You Can Use. Today is the first show of the 2017-2018 school year, and I welcome you back. Today's show is all about new beginnings. This is the time of year where we all want some new notebooks and pencils and pens because September is a time for new beginnings. So we're going to talk about a wellness challenge that's coming up that we're inviting Red Clay parents and students to join this year. And this is a new beginning for you. We're going to talk about what happened at the schools over the summer to get them ready for the school year. And we're also going to tell you about an internet availability program offered by Comcast, which really is a terrific deal. A low-cost internet, low-cost computer to get your household set up so that your student can work online on their homework during the school year. So we have a packed show for you today, and I hope you stay with us on News You Can Use. Hello, and welcome back to News You Can Use. On today's show, we're celebrating back to school, so we thought we'd bring in Marcia Mikowski, who is manager of our facilities and maintenance departments here in the district, to talk a little bit about some changes you may have seen at some of the schools when you came back this year and what we did to get the schools ready for the new year. Welcome to News You Can Use, Marcia.
Well, thank you, Patty. Thank you for having me here.
You're welcome.
It's been an exciting year at Red Clay, exciting summer at Red Clay, I should say. We're finishing up all the major construction, major cap renovations that we've gracefully passed by the referendum in 2012
That's
by
right.
the taxpayers.
That's right.
So we're finishing that up finally. Believe it or not, it's been that long. Over 5 years that we've been at it. This was the final year. We had 4 schools under renovation. We had Lewis Elementary School still under renovation. We had HB Middle School under renovation. We had Highlands Elementary School, and Bolt's windows were still being replaced. Bolt's is still continuing. The other 3 are kind of wrapping up in the final stages to finish up. So not as busy a summer as we had in the past summers with 14 plus schools under renovations, but 4 is still a lot, trying to manage that and get that wrapped up before school starts. Somehow we did it. As I always say, kids come back no matter what. So they came back, they got in the building. It was a successful summer, successful first day of school. On top of that, obviously we have a busy summer just from regular renovations and just making sure the buildings are ready for back to school.
I know, I saw out polishing all the hallways,
Right.
painting, trying to make all the schools look good and ready and fresh and
That's it, ready and
for
fresh.
the kids. Yep.
Right. And what's probably what most people don't realize nowadays is it's not like we have summers that are all from schools. It's
Right.
not like we'd have empty buildings over the summer and the groups, the custodial group, the maintenance groups have free reign of the building to clean it up. They don't. They deal with, I think this summer we were at 14 or 15 summer programs
Right.
that last 4 to 6 weeks out of that 8-week period during the summer programs. So we're kind of managing, trying to clean the buildings, get the buildings prepped for school. At the same time, we have the summer programs that are in there like a regular school day. So it's a tricky puzzle that we're trying to maneuver, slippery slope, and but somehow it gets done every year. No matter
Yeah.
what, it gets done.
Yeah.
It becomes a nail biter at the end, but it gets accomplished.
Now, for those that don't remember, the 2012 referendum had some very big projects that were done first. So this is going back a couple of years, but we had the gorgeous new auditorium at Camp Callaway, which that school is making great use of. And it just looks terrific. We built the new Cook Elementary School, named after Buzzy Cook. And we did a new wing at AI High School. Is that right? And what other major project am I missing?
We had, I want to say 6 or 7 schools received anywhere between new windows, new roofs
Right.
replacement. We had some boiler replacement. A couple of the schools had HVAC. I think one of the biggest probably takeaways that's well-rounded or common amongst all the schools is every single school received a new secure vestibule, secure
Yes,
entry
I
access
want to talk
point.
about that.
Which that is, I think, very important to us. And as far as in the district, it's the way I call it is our first line of defense in the buildings, and it makes sure that when anybody entering the building or the first person entering the building during school hours when the kids are in the building, has to go through the office, has to identify themselves, has to report in the office and say, I'm such and such here, I'm for this and this reason.
Right.
Then they are allowed and buzzed into the actual building where the students are. So they cannot access the students at all unless they enter through the office and are allowed to enter into the school.
And Red Clay really has been a leader in this because I understand there was some legislation requiring school districts, when they build a new school, to build it so that you enter the main office. You don't enter the main building. Unfortunately, you know, we live in a time that we have to build our school buildings like that, and a lot of our buildings are older, and they weren't built like that. You walked through a main hallway or a lobby to get to the main office, and that's no longer the case in any of the Red Clay schools.
Correct.
Some of that required major construction, like Highlands Elementary.
Major construction there because, like you mentioned, they're not all as easy as, hey, the office was right on the other side of the door, so it was a matter of just
Right.
putting up an L shape, kind of like, you know, trough or however you want to describe it. But
Right.
it wasn't as simple. It required at Highlands, the office was, when you walked into the main doors of Highlands, on one side you had an auditorium, on the other side you had the gym. You walked down the hallway and the office was there. So you couldn't really take up any of those two spaces to make them the new office. So the only logical solution was, let's build on the exterior of the building, make them offices. So now the first point of entry is the office.
That's
In other
right.
schools, it was a little bit easier.
Well, for instance, I'm thinking of like Warner, where you built a like a glass vestibule
Yep.
almost, and it's almost a pathway now to get into the main office, where you used to just walk into the lobby.
And you would have free reign of the building.
And
Now
have free
you have
reign.
to go
Right.
to that office, right?
Right, and we ask for patience with our parents and our community members that come into school. We do have a lot of safety and security procedures in place. We ask for ID. We want to know, when I came into McCain High School this morning, I had to sign in. We want to know everybody that's in the building at all times, because really safety is our first priority. We take it very seriously that we have these 18,000 kids every day that we're
Responsible for.
responsible for
Responsible.
for a large part of the day. Now, is there anything left that's still happening with construction?
Well, we're wrapping up bolts, so we still have the administration wing where all the superintendent and deputy superintendent on the business office are. So that wing, because we concentrated on the school side with the windows, we wanted to
Right.
wrap that over the summer when they're not in there. And now we're progressing over to the administration side to finish up those windows. So that's continuing. That should wrap up in the next 2 months or so.
Okay,
And the only project that's left, and the only building that's left, is Central, our old Telegraph Road building. That one has some sprinkler work, some piping work, some minor renovations that is still from the original 2012 referendum that we never
Right.
did. But being that the building was half vacant, I guess, for lack of a better word, we're kind of setting back and seeing what really we need to do and how we want to repurpose that building.
okay.
There's ideas floating.
Yeah.
I won't let the cat out of the bag.
We thought we had a news scoop here on News You Can Use, but apparently not today.
No, shucks.
Not today.
Not today.
Not today. And the maintenance department, you do still do minor construction projects all through the year?
Right, with the maintenance department, I mean, we were fortunate enough as to utilize them. For example, we received federal grants and federal funding
Right.
for some programs. So AI High School this year relocated or replaced their auto tech shop and did away with that, and now took on a major more of a role with AutoCAD and more of a role with building construction.
Right.
So we took their old auto tech shop, converted it into a big classroom with all computer, AutoCAD type of engineering
Oh, cool.
setup. And then the other part is actual more of a trades where they're going to learn a little bit more about every little trade in the construction industry, the students.
Okay.
So they're going to learn a little bit about electricity, learn a little bit about carpentry, learn a little bit about roofing, HVAC, so on down the line. And maintenance literally did that from scratch to start to finish this summer. So that was a maintenance project.
Okay.
And again, during a regular summer, it's still maintenance does about 1,000 work orders every summer, start to finish, because it is ample time that they can do it and get in there and do it.
Right.
So work's happening nonstop every
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah, okay. Well, the schools look good, and you should be proud. Your crew did a great job, and we are happy to say that the construction projects came in on budget. And again, we'd like to thank the community for your support, because without your support, we can't do these major projects and keep our older buildings up to
Right.
par.
Right.
Up to par.
Yeah, we do have. I mean, until I think last year, 2 years ago, we had the oldest building in the state and the newest building. We no longer have the newest building,
Okay.
but we still have the oldest building in the state.
Okay.
And like you said, just like your house, those buildings, every so often, they need updates, they need maintenance, and we try to do our best to do that.
And what do we have? We have 32 locations?
No, 27.
27?
27 locations.
I think I'm thinking of programs.
Programs,
32
yes.
programs.
Correct.
Yeah.
27 building sites. And they're a lot of work. They're a lot of work. You know, imagine having your house with, you know, on the size scale, probably 50 kids in there every day,
Oh, God.
being kids.
Yeah.
Being kids.
Yeah. So there's a little wear and tear,
That's
is
the
what we're
word.
saying. A
That's
little
it.
wear and
That's
tear
it. That's
that
it.
we have to constantly fix.
And that's it. And we try to stay ahead of it.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for coming in today,
Thank
and welcome back.
Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, stay with us. We're going to tell you about a terrific program that Comcast offers that can bring families low-cost internet access that's very easy to get. So stay with us. Thank you very much.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it. When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director here, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for.
And to see you makes me proud.
I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Hi, and welcome back to News You Can Use. We're joined by Jen Boyette, who is the Manager of Government Affairs for Comcast, and she's going to tell us about a terrific program they offer, which gives households low-cost internet access. Welcome, Jen.
Thanks so much for having me, Patty.
You're welcome. And it's Internet Essentials?
It is. It's Internet Essentials. It is Comcast's low-cost broadband adoption program.
Right.
We've had it since 2011. This is our 6th year. It's always been the same price since we started, but it's $9.95 a month for internet service.
Which is a great deal.
It's a great deal to eligible families.
Okay.
So if you have a child in free or reduced school lunch, you'd be eligible. If your entire school gets free or reduced school lunch,
Which is a number of schools in Red Clay.
right, absolutely, then you would qualify. So as long as you just go to that school, you could call, say what school you go to, and they would sign you up.
Okay.
But you also can get a computer if you've never had a computer before, because this program is directed at families who either can't afford internet at all or just don't think they need it. So a lot of those people have not been exposed to using a computer.
Right.
Believe it or not, this day and age, a lot of people still don't know how to work one, don't know how to turn it on.
Right.
So if you've never had a computer, we will sell one to you for $150 or $149.50, I believe it is.
Okay.
And then we show you how to use it. We do have training classes, so we don't leave you in the dark. We don't just hand you a computer and then let you figure it out on your own. If you like, you can sign up for training classes, and then we just show you the basics of how to get online and how to get started.
Well, the kids, I know 100% of the kids are on computers. I mean, Red Clay has just moved to, and this is the 3rd year of a rollout of Chromebooks for every student from 3rd through 12th grade in Red Clay has a computer. So the kids are expected, and they come up to speed really fast. If they're, the kids are expected to work on computers, so they need this at home.
Absolutely, and all of the school districts, or it seems like all of the school districts are doing that now. If you don't have your own, they issue you an iPad and then you have to use it, and those kids who go home and don't have internet service can't use it.
Right.
So we're finding a lot of people that we talk to, because we go to a lot of events and we have information tables explaining internet essentials, and we hear from a lot of people that, the kids will have an iPad and they'll have a smartphone, but then they don't have the connection at home to do it. So they have to go to a McDonald's or Dunkin'
library,
Donuts, library, computer lab, and use the free Wi-Fi, or wait in line for a computer at a computer lab.
Boy, that really
Yeah.
is a hardship on these kids.
It really is, because if you can imagine, they're out of the house all day at school, and then a lot
Right.
of times you just want to go home, do your homework, have your family time, and then you can't because you have to go to the library to do your homework and wait in line for other people to do what they have to do before you get your turn to do your paper on the computer there.
Okay.
So it
Now,
really
does
is helpful.
Comcast know what schools have all free and reduced? I mean, is it easy for folks to sign up? How do they do that?
It is. We have a list every year that we update for what we call auto-approved schools. So if they go to the schools we were talking about where the entire school gets free and reduced school lunch, we do have a list of those.
Okay.
So people calling in from those schools usually just have to say, yes, my child goes to this school, and then
Okay.
we see it on the list, and then usually they're approved right away. There are some other caveats. Obviously, you can't have had Comcast internet service in the past 90 days, simply because if you already have it, then you already have it. This is
Right.
an onboarding program, so it's designed for, again, people who've never had it before or can't afford it. So we're trying to get that barrier out of the way to get you started.
Okay.
But otherwise, they do usually ask for some sort of paperwork proof. So your free and reduced school lunch paperwork, they would ask you to submit. But after that, they can send you a self-install kit. You get the modem in the mail. Or if that intimidates you, we will send a technician to your house to plug it in for you.
Okay.
And we get you set up. But
So if your child gets a free lunch, you are eligible for this program. So
Absolutely.
we really want to make that point.
Absolutely. You do have to be in a serviceable area, though. There are
Okay.
some pockets in Delaware that don't have Comcast service, so if you can't get it anyway, then we wouldn't be able to hook you up, because obviously
That's
you need the
small
connection at your
areas,
house.
and I would
But
imagine
yeah, it's
the majority of
pockets-
Red Clay has Comcast
Absolutely.
service.
Red
Yeah.
Clay usually shouldn't have to worry about that.
Okay,
Yeah.
terrific, terrific. Now, I understand that you recently reached a milestone. This is a national program that Comcast does, and you've recently reached a big milestone. Why don't you tell us about that?
We did. It's huge for us. We're very excited to announce that over the 6 years that the program has started, since 2011, we've reached the milestone of 1 million connects, or
Wow.
connecting. So 1 million households, or 4 million Americans connecting to the internet that otherwise didn't have it or couldn't afford it. So
Right,
that's huge
right.
for us to get those people on board and connected, and used to the things that you and I take for granted if we have the internet at home.
those all those YouTube cute kitten videos.
Exactly.
How are you going to do that
You're
if you don't
missing
have
out on
internet
so
service?
much. Exactly.
Right.
But things like simple as looking for a job, or booking a ticket, a movie ticket online to save your
right.
seat, or whatever the smallest thing might be. I mean, if you think about it, how often do you use the internet all day long?
Frequently.
It's absolutely
Especially
essential.
when you count your
Mhm.
phone,
Right.
Yeah.
And that's actually a good point. Because we have Internet Essentials, the modem that we give you is Wi-Fi capable.
Right.
So like I was saying, a lot of people do have their smartphone or their iPad, and they have a data plan.
Okay.
But then they're burning through their data because they don't have a hardwired internet in their house.
So they can use the internet
So they
on
can
their-
use the Wi-Fi and then not burn through their data.
Right.
And then we also opened it up this year to, we have the 1 million connects, and we celebrated with some enhancements. And one of
Okay.
those enhancements is to have 40 hours a week of connection to our Wi-Fi hotspots. So I don't have the number. It's 18 million Xfinity Wi-Fi hotspots across the country. So you'd be out and about with your phone or whatnot, and you'd have access to those Wi-Fi hotspots.
That's terrific.
Right.
And we're going to put up on screen where do people go, or how do they contact you if they if they think that they're eligible and they want to join the program.
Right, absolutely. Please call the 1-800 number. It's 1-855-8-INTERNET.
And we'll put that at the bottom of the screen.
Or you can just go to internetessentials.com. If you do have an internet connection somewhere, you can connect through there, and they could auto-approve you online as well.
Okay.
So,
Well, it's a wonderful program. And do you know if a lot of people in Red Clay do take advantage? Do you have numbers?
I don't specifically for Red Clay, but
Okay.
I believe it's about 4,000 people connected in the state of Delaware.
Okay.
And that includes Kent and Sussex as well as Newcastle County.
Okay,
So it's
so
a
we-
lot, but we have work to do to connect those people people who might not know about the program, because those numbers could be higher.
Definitely.
And,
I mean,
and
you
if
know,
they don't know, if they aren't aware of the program, they can't take advantage of it. So we just
Right.
want to make sure everybody knows and can get on board if they want to. Because
and
again, it's a
and
really
it's
good
called
price.
Internet Essentials because internet has become almost essential in our
Absolutely.
life these days.
Absolutely. And we did up the speeds too, just to throw that in there. It is
Okay.
now 15 down, 2 up. So it's a lot faster to get connected.
Okay, so we're going to end this little segment with, again, we're going to put the number on the screen for you. And remember, if your child goes to a Red Clay school that gets free lunch or gets free lunch, you are eligible for this terrific program that can get you low-cost internet access and a low-cost computer in your house if you do not have that set up in your home now.
Absolutely. Please call. Especially since the school year just started, your kids can do homework at home instead of at the computer lab or whatnot.
Yeah, that's great. Well, thanks for coming in, Jen,
Thanks for
and telling
having
us
me.
about the program. And
Thank you.
And hopefully, some folks out there will take advantage of it.
Hopefully. Please
Okay.
call.
Okay. Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So they say it's a man's world? Well, I don't see anybody's name on it. While they were out doing their thing, we slowly changed all that. We changed all that. Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
Hi, and welcome back to News You Can Use. I'd just like to thank our last guest, Jen Boyette from Comcast. She told you about Internet Essentials, a terrific opportunity to get low-cost internet and a computer into your home. We're joined now by Jessica Ferran. She is a nutrition specialist for Red Clay, and I think that the district is very lucky in that our nutrition department does a lot more, serving how many meals a day, Jessica?
Close to 12,000.
Close to 12,000 meals a day, but they really take on much more than that in our district, really trying to increase the level of health, not only through nutrition, but through activity as well. And Jessica's here today going to talk to us about a wellness challenge, the Great Red Clay Wellness Challenge, the second annual, is that right?
Yep,
The
second
second
annual.
annual, which is about to launch.
Yep, it is. And really trying to keep the momentum going from the first one, our
Okay.
first annual one, where we had 25% of our employees sign up. So,
Oh, that's a great
yeah, a big number.
outcome, yeah.
And I think we lost close to 500 pounds together, so a good number as well. And a lot of people gave us feedback that they wanted to do a challenge, not just focus on weight, but maybe healthy eating and fitness. I think
Okay.
the biggest call for the next challenge was a fitness challenge.
Okay.
So starting October 16th, we're going to have our second annual Great Red Clay Wellness Challenge, and it's going to focus on...
Does this mean I have to exercise?
It does, if you want to join the challenge.
I do. I should.
If you want to help your team win.
Okay.
The fitness challenge will kick off on October 16th.
Okay.
Which is right after the Bike to the Bay. You've probably seen a lot of the
I
advertisements
have.
for Bike
That
to the
looks
Bay.
fun.
It should be a fun event. We wanted to use it as a kickoff for the Great Red Clay Wellness Challenge. So we have about 20 riders so far. We hope to get a couple more. If you sign up by September 15th, you do get a cool Red Clay bike jersey.
Okay.
So there's an incentive there.
September 15th?
Yep. Mhm.
Okay.
You can sign up all the way up until October 7th, but it might just be a little bit more difficult to reach the fundraising goals because you do have to raise $300, but we're kind of working as a team to raise that money. We have Jeans Days. We're also doing some additional personal fundraising through Facebook.
Okay.
But there's some assistance there. So I know it's a daunting number, $300 to raise, but I think that as a team.
So each team raises $300 as an entry fee to the.
Each individual. So.
Oh, okay. That is a little
Yeah.
daunting. Yeah, but it's goes to
Goes to MS Research. So
MS
a great
Research,
place.
a worthy because
Mhm.
Yeah, and if you're interested in that, how can you sign up for that, Jessica?
So if you go to Bike to the Bay MS and then click Join a Team, and we are Team Red Clay.
Okay.
So you can search for us, and then just right now the entry fee is $75, and you can just sign up, choose how many miles you want to ride. You can do 20, you could do 100. Most of our riders, I think, are between 20 and 75. I don't know if we have any 100-mile takers yet.
Okay.
But yeah, it's really easy to do online.
Okay, and that event is
October
7th.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that'll be our big kickoff. And then October 16th, about a week and a half, 2 weeks, we'll have our Red Clay Wellness Challenge.
Okay.
Which will focus on fitness. So it'll be a number of minutes of physical activity will be our measure. And we kind of have a spin this year. We're going to incorporate parents and students in
Yeah,
addition
that's
to just
terrific.
employees.
Yeah, so it's a Red Clay community, the great Red Clay Community Wellness Challenge.
Exactly, yeah. We should maybe change the name of it.
I don't know, it's long enough. I think we can leave community out of it, but just let people know that we are hoping that students and parents sign up.
Yep. And also, we polled a couple teachers, and with some of the feedback we got last year, we're going to try to incorporate a platform that teachers and parents and students are already familiar with, Schoology,
Okay.
to create a course in Schoology that will be kind of like our social platform, since it does have that social space for comments, notifications, alerts, postings, to track everyone's progress.
Okay. And so you'll track the amount of physical activity that each of the entrants undergoes every week, or how is that going to work?
Well, the challenge will be run at the building level with the wellness champion, which worked out really well last year. We had team captains.
Okay.
And really, at the district level, we'll monitor the progress of everyone and the tracking for the district. But a lot of the wellness captains last year really made the challenge their own. They did some extra on top of what we were already doing, and it really made it fun for the building. And they were able to get feedback from their teachers, maybe even students, if they incorporated students into their challenge last year, to make it even bigger than what it was.
Okay.
And we're able to make it what their building needed at the time. So we'll still try to do that this year, where each wellness champion will start the challenge at their building, from the ground up, get feedback from teachers and students. And so they'll be doing a lot of the tracking and giving out the tools and resources to be successful in the challenge.
And are you hoping that there's like group exercise here? I mean, because I know that some of our schools open up the gym for some exercise on a weekly basis or things like that. Do you envision activities like that happening as part of the challenge?
Yeah, I really hope so. I know that last year, actually, McCain, their wellness captain, they had instructors come in for the staff. I think they might have did Zumba and maybe one other type of class where they had employees come.
Great.
And so that's why it's so much better to have that building level person really doing this challenge, because they know what their teachers want or their building staff wants to do.
Right.
So
yeah, rather than from on high and saying, this is when you will exercise, this is what you will do.
Exactly.
Yeah, that probably wouldn't work.
Yeah, so we hope that everyone makes it their own, and we'll provide the tools and resources
Okay.
to make it successful.
Okay.
But in addition to using Schoology and trying to incorporate parents and students, we hope that this challenge lays the groundwork for something the Wellness Committee has been working on last year and into this year, which is increasing physical activity for students during the school day. We know that academics are so important, but often with the focus on academics, I think PE, physical activity, and health can take a back seat sometimes. We know
That's
how
right.
important that is for kids. Research shows time and time again that more physically active students are better academically, that they have better attendance, they have lower incident of behavioral problems at school. So we know it's so important,
Right.
not just for weight control, but also for all these academic purposes.
Sure.
as
Well, exercise, all the studies show, has a multitude of benefits for you in your
Definitely,
life.
just a happier person.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm a happier person when I exercise.
Well, maybe,
I think I might
maybe
have to
after.
challenge you on that. After. You're happier when you're finished exercising. I will admit to that,
Yeah,
definitely.
maybe not before.
Yeah, yeah. And what ways do we envision that a school can, as you said, because there are those pressures to get the academics completed. What ways do we envision incorporating more physical activity into the day?
And that's been the biggest question and biggest challenge so far.
Okay.
And I've been working with our wellness committee, with the nutrition department, also with PE council to try to find, what we can do to get more physical activity in the school day.
Okay.
And really what we envision for elementary is we hope that we can get the classroom teacher to do more brain breaks, transition time activities. And we know that there's so many good things already happening right now with our classroom teachers and those kinds of things. It's just not standardized. So we know a lot of teachers, a lot of schools, they make it a priority to do, Go Noodle. We've probably all heard of Go Noodle, brain energizers, but it's just not everywhere. So what we hope is to even the playing field across the district and everyone through this challenge get a taste for trying to get activity in the classroom. So at elementary, that's kind of what we envision, is that it will be classroom-based activity.
Okay.
And where the Wellness Challenge comes in with trying to get this jump started is that the Wellness Challenge will have a dual accountability aspect to it. So teachers are accountable for their students doing activity, and when their students do activity, it accumulates points for themselves for the challenge, and vice versa. So if the teacher does their activity, their goals for activity, the students accumulate points.
Right.
So it's almost two challenges running at the same time,
Right.
where student points can accumulate the teacher points,
Right.
Or other employee if they're not a teacher, and the teacher can accumulate their students' points. So they're kind of both pushing each other in a sense through the challenge.
Yeah, they can support each other and challenge each other. That's the whole idea.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's overstating it to say that exercise, is an important component. I mean, the studies show that if you are an exerciser as a child, you remain an exerciser and, physically fit throughout your whole life. So really, you're giving the kids, to go down that path if the teachers decide that they can take it on, the challenge.
It's very true. And I think that, what we do here in Red Clay is we're hoping that these students, we're teaching them lessons, we're giving them the academic success to be a successful member of society when they leave us.
Right.
And, I think we all can probably think of one case, real life case where we've met a person who's very smart, very academically, had achievements, but if they're not healthy and happy, they're not really functioning member of society. So I think that physical activity brings in that aspect of the full, well-rounded student. We have academic success, and we also have them healthy, happy, productive, and then they'll leave us and be a successful member of society.
Okay. And what kind of reaction have you gotten so far from some of the teachers? I mean, are they embracing this idea, or, you did say it is a challenge to get this much activity into a day?
I think that it will be a challenge. I think that a lot of teachers are already doing these kinds
So
of
much,
things.
yeah.
So I think that they'll just be, no sweat off my back. It's just I'll continue doing what I'm doing. I think for some it might be a challenge. I think it's this challenge, the Great Red Clay Wellness Challenge, will be a nice introduction, because right now we don't really have the framework in place.
Right.
But I think this will show them how it can be done.
Yeah.
And I think that after the Wellness Challenge, we don't want to lose our momentum for the physical activity for the kids. So we
Yeah.
hope that using Schoology, a platform that teachers are familiar with, will make it easy. We also don't want to make the exercise complicated either. We
No.
want to keep it simple. We don't need, to be reading lesson plans that have physical activity in them. I think just keep it simple, get up and move, and then be done and get back to work.
Well, and we had a terrific speaker who, I can't remember the person's name, unfortunately, but we had a terrific speaker come and do some professional development about movement, how, I think he called it a brain break, where just some movement, some physical movement just gets things flowing too,
And it
mentally.
gets the blood flowing, and
Yeah.
yeah, I think that there's definitely a lot of truth to that. I think that you have a lot of chemicals in your body that when you're up and moving really makes your brain, they call them brain breaks, but a lot of times we call them brain energizers, because you're
Right.
really, when you get up and move, you're energizing your brain, you're getting oxygen to your brain, and everything's working better.
Yeah, and they say that too, like if you're having a long day at work or something, just a 5-minute walk or a 10-minute little brisk walk or something like that can really re-energize you. That's a great word for it. Yeah.
And all types of activity. I think that at a middle and high school level, we find that a lot of kids, if they're not involved in sports, they might not be active.
Right.
And so what we're trying to emphasize too is that any form of activity is great. A walk, if you like to dance, like color guard, it's all activity as long as you're
Sure.
up and moving.
Right.
And at the high school and the middle school level, what we hope for the physical activity, we hope to see maybe exercise classes in the morning and the evening. We have partnerships with the YMCA, and they have, plenty of certified instructors, and they're willing to come in before the bell after school to provide lessons for us.
Nice. Very
Yep.
nice.
It's still, a lot of coordination that needs to take place, but
Okay.
the groundwork hopefully will be laid out this fall to something that can be sustained year to year and provided
Okay.
for our students.
Okay. But really the point today is we're here today, Jessica's here today, as an invitation for our whole community to join us in the Great Red Clay Wellness Challenge.
Yes, October 16th. You should be getting a invite through Schoology, as long as I can figure out how to work that. But I think
Well, do you know what you do? Go for a walk. And then
That's right.
take a little brain break and then sit down with Schoology.
I'll energize my
And then
brain.
tell me how to do it, okay? Yeah.
Yep, we hope to get more than 25%, keep going up and up till we have most of our school district
Okay.
participating.
Okay.
So we look forward to being physically active with everyone this fall.
Well, that's great. It's a wonderful cause for not only our students but our community, and we'll be putting up information on how you can get more information on the Great Wellness Challenge and how you can join us. And again, that just so folks know, the deadline to join that is.
Well, the deadline for Bike to the Bay is October 7th. The Great Red Clay Wellness Challenge will probably be that week of the 16th. You'll have the full week to sign up, and we'll send out plenty of notification.
Is there any charge to join?
We are going to have a charge. We haven't established what the charge is.
Okay.
Last year, I believe it was $1. It might go up just a little bit this year. And all the money, always gets put back into the schools, into our kids.
Okay.
So.
Okay, great. Well, thanks so much for coming out, our first edition of News You Can Use this school year. And what a great way to start the year with
thank you
with
for-
the Wellness
thanks for
Challenge
having
and
me.
Bike to the Bay. You're more than welcome. Come back and let us know how it's going. Well, how long will the challenge last?
It'll be about 6 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much brings us up until winter break.
Well, maybe 6 weeks will be enough time to get exercise into my routine again.
Yeah,
'Cause
get
that
some
really
new
is.
sneakers, get
Oh,
some exercise
okay.
clothes,
Oh, I
get
can-
motivated.
Oh, wait a minute. I can shop before the challenge? Okay,
It's a great
now.
way to get motivated.
Okay, great. Well, thanks for joining us today, Jessica. And thank you for tuning in to News You Can Use. And stay with us, because when I come back, I'm going to tell you about some exciting events coming up to start our school year. Thanks very much.
I got a creak in my neck, limp in my step, cramping in my muscles every time I try to flex. Better than I was scared of. It's very sad no more. All that I could do was remember you. You know I usually say no, but if you throw me love, I'll throw you some more.
You are watching NTV. You're watching ATV.
It's me, Eddie McGrath, the science guy.
You're watching ATV. You're watching NTV.
You are watching Ed TV. You're watching Ed TV. Watch, learn, grow.
Hi, and welcome back to News You Can Use. You know, we always try to end the show by letting you know about some upcoming events in the district. The month of September, we have back to school nights at all of our schools. There is a detailed calendar on our website, which you can find at redclayschools.com. We also have the 4th on Monday. We will be closed for Labor Day. And again, we will have schools closed on the 21st of September for Rosh Hashanah. Our school board meeting this month will be held at Cab Calloway School of the Arts on the evening of September 20th. That starts at 7 p.m. And next month, we're looking forward to an ELL conference we'll be holding early in October, and we're going to have a show that will tell you more about that coming up soon. Well, thank you very much for joining us on our back to school edition of News You Can Use. I know myself, I'm going to join the Wellness Challenge. I'm finally going to do it this time. And I hope you enjoyed today's show and that you tune in next time. Thanks very much.